Okay, so I'm now on the last of these videos for the exponents unit. So, power of a quotient. So I had 3 over 5 and I'm writing that 2 times to get 3 squared over 5 squared. We do the same thing here. I have 1 m inside, I have 1 8 inside, and we're going to rewrite that 4 times. M over 8. Yeah, I don't really need my parentheses. M over 8. M over 8. And when I do that, I have m times m times m times m over 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. And when I get that answer, I have m to the 4th over 8 to the 4th. Okay, let's try the next one. Now, notice how this has a negative out front? Negative a over 9 times, let's make a little tail on that a so it's easier to notice. Oops, I forgot the negative. Make sure that the negative goes there. Negative a over 9. So, I have a negative a times a negative a over 9 times 9. Yeah, where are my tails on these? Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Negative times a negative is a positive. So these two negatives gone away. They're no longer there because when you multiply 2 negatives together, you get a positive. So over here, I'm just going to write a to the 2nd power over 9 to the 2nd power. Again, comparing the 1st and the 3rd columns. Did my bases stay the same? My 3 and my 5 both stay the same. So each base stayed the same. And amazingly, it's the same thing as the power to a power in the fact that this exponent was 1. 1 times 2 has 2. 1 times 2 has 2. Now, I didn't put in here, this could have been 8 to the 2nd power, and that would have ended up 2 times 4, but we'll do that later on. So, each exponent on the inside of the parentheses is multiplied by the exponent on the outside. So, I look here, there's an invisible 1, there's an invisible 1. 1 times a gets a, 1 times a gets a. So you have x to the a over y to the a. So let's try these. So it says, write 5 over 4 3 times. 5 over 4 times 5 over 4 times 5 over 4. When I do that, I end up with 3 5s and 3 4s. Or if I did it the rule way, 1 times 3, 1 times 3, and still would have ended up with 5 to the 3rd over 4 to the 3rd. Now the next one adds a little bit more to it. It has 2x. So 2x over 7 how about over y? I just really like to write my exponent there. 2x over y, 2x over y, 2x over y, 2x over y. Okay, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and oops, what are you doing, Kim? 2x over y. I'm going to have to write my answer down below. Not a lot of space. How many 2's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many x's do I have? 7. How many y's do I have? Ooh, amazing. 7. So, if I was to do it the rule, I would have 2 to the 1 times 7, x to the 1 times 7 over y to the 1 times 7. And I would have ended up with the exact same answer of 2 to the 7th, x to the 7th over y to the 7th. I know that got a little bunchy there. I'm so sorry. Let's see. I'll make a little squiggly line to separate it. That's two different work. Sorry about that. Now, I want to talk about negatives real quick. This is not written on yours, but let's think about it. -1 times -1. That's going to get us 1. Not 2, but 1, a positive 1. If I had -1 times -1 times -1, that's going to get me a -1. So what happens when you have a positive number of them? That's not what I wanted to say. When you have an even number of negatives, you're going to get a positive number. That's what I was trying to say. If you have an odd number of negatives, your answer is going to become negative. So right here it says I'm going to write down 8 negatives. So in your mind, think about that without even doing the problem. Is it going to come out positive or negative? Think about it. So let's do it and find out. Let's find out what this comes out to. So negative a over b times 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 negative a over b. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more, a over b. And by the way, the negative can be on top or on bottom. It doesn't matter. Or out front. So these two negatives become positive. These two make positive. These two make positive. That makes positive. So your answer is going to be positive. A to the how many a's do I have? 8 of them. How many b's do I have? 8 of them. So a to the 8th over b to the 8th. So we just discussed the fact that if this exponent is an even number, this negative is not going to be there anymore. So this is going to be a to the 1 times 8, b to the 1 times 8. Now, if that makes it a little more difficult for you to understand, that's fine. You can actually write it as a -1 out front to the 8th power. And this is going to get us a to the 8th power over b to the 8th power. Okay, so hopefully this made some good sense to you and you are able to do these problems.